Hey guys, welcome back. Thought I would come on here for a bit of an impromptu update, let you guys know what I've been up to, what's been going on. Not really scripted, not really planned, but we'll just hang out. Hopefully it won't be too long. I got to get out pretty soon and go meet the kids at their school. There's a parent-teacher meeting going on, and then kind of a new school year type barbecue thing happening a bit later. What I was just listening to, I showed this guy in a recent Finds video. I showed his album called, I think it's just self-titled, Freddie McGregor. Picked up his second one, produced by 90 The Observer, not his second LP, but he did two produced by 90, the great 90 The Observer. This is the second one of those two, called Showcase. I think it collects some tracks that weren't on the first one. And Freddie McGregor, one of the great singers of Jamaican music. Guy could sing the phone book and make it sound nice, warm, and easy, as the expression goes. And he hits both sides of the fence with some heavy roots tracks, Chant It Down, The Overseer, and also hits the more easygoing Lovers side of his that he was very successful with at that time, with Lovers Rock JA style, paying tribute to the Lovers Rock style of reggae that was sweeping the UK at that time, and rounds out the package with some dub versions. It's a very excellent set from Freddie. What else has been going on? I've been doing a lot of room reorganizing. I'll just kind of show you right behind here. I've got this shelf set up. Kind of wanted my reggae and other music books a bit closer to my listening spot, which is right here. There's the, I don't know if you can see the cat. There she is. There's the cat. That's her usual spot. Right up here, Deep Down with Dennis Brown. Got that book from the author, Penny Real. Great UK reggae collector, authority, music writer. Passed away a couple of years ago, I think. Trojan Records book. I've shown that in a previous video. Covers book. Some periodicals here. Here is my collection of Reggae Quarterly magazines, which I got direct from one of the authors, Beth Lesser, whose photographs appear in many reggae album sleeves, including some from Soul Jazz. A signed copy of The Beat magazine, signed by founder Roger Steffens, one of the world's foremost Bob Marley authorities, and some various books here. And the Reggae Library. Wanted to have it closer to my listening spot. Hopefully you can see all that. So I've been doing a lot of room reorganizing. What's prompted this has been, I've been kind of reevaluating myself as a collector. A long time ago, or 4 or 5 years ago when I started in the VC, there was a thread going around, when is enough enough? Kind of addressed to the vinyl collectors in the community. And some of us, it provoked a lot of discussion, which was a good thing. I would probably might have changed my answer to that nowadays. I would say I'm not, enough is not enough yet, but I can kind of see where it is from where I am now. I'm kind of slowing down in terms of collecting. I'm not going out digging quite as often as I used to. I'm turning 50 later this year. Maybe, hopefully not by the time I upload this, but very soon. And it's kind of prompted some reevaluation of my habits over time. I've always had this kind of collector gene, I guess you would call it. You go out, you accumulate this stuff. In some fashion in my head, it makes sense. It tells a story to have these objects together. If I collected comics for a long time, off and on over the years, so you would have to have all the issues in order, have all the significant runs of titles and so on. Same with toys, collected them for a while. Magazines I picked up here and there, books, lots of records, of course. This is kind of hit a peak over, I guess, the last 10, 20 years maybe. And this has been going on for some time. I'm finding myself starting to slow down, starting to take a pause, reevaluate what is kind of important to me to keep around in my life, as I realize there's more water under the bridge than there is ahead going forward. How much of this stuff that I'm accumulating is going to be a burden to my loved ones if I'm not around one day, which I had a cousin 4 years younger than me, passed away a couple of weeks ago. She's been in ill health for some time, but leaving behind a daughter just entering grade 8. So kind of makes you think, makes you pause, makes you want to appreciate things more, maybe spend less time going out digging for records, more time appreciating the ones you have. That said, I'm not going to quit collecting music. The music is absolutely the last thing I would quit collecting. That's been my biggest interest over the years, but I am starting to prune the collection here and there. I think that's a healthy thing to do in any case. Prune as it grows. But some of the other things I've collected over the years, comics I'm starting to downsize, magazines, books, all this stuff I'm going through, kind of prioritizing what is important to keep, what says something to me, what represents my interests, and what is just extraneous and is just kind of filling up my space here. You can't see, but I have a whole room behind there that is filled with comics, toys, and all this kind of stuff. I got to kind of go through that and figure out what is important to keep, what I'm going to read again, what I'm going to continue to enjoy as I go forward, what is not, and can be disposed of. So just for an example, went out to the thrift store today, had a couple of errands to run, had 2 records in my hand. They actually had, for the thrift store I haven't been to in a long time. They're usually pretty bad, or have been. I spent a lot of time in my early days vinyl collecting, hitting that store every day because I worked just down the road, so I could stop in on the way home every day, flip through the new arrivals. There were days I would, in that first flush of collecting vinyl, there's days you come home with armloads of records. Some days you don't, of course, but there are those days you do. I have not been doing that for a long time now, but more power to those of you that still are. Just be aware, as these things accumulate, you start to realize maybe you don't need all of it as much as you thought you did in that first flush of collecting. But I went out today, found 2 records that were, okay, good condition. Had to ask myself, do I really need these in the collection? Do they represent something rather than just being kind of completist acquisitions? And I had to finally say no and leave them behind. But what I did pick up, you're going to get a laugh out of this, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. This was a TV show that was on in the 80s, cheesy as all get out, bad special effects, but I got the whole DVD box set, mint condition, for $5 or $6, so I couldn't pass that up. That's gonna be fun. I remember watching that at the time. What else I picked up? I haven't been buying new comics for a couple of years. Shout out to Eddie Sosa and the vinyl community, who was always posting comic books, kind of getting me wanting to get back into it again in some way. But I do have to downsize that collection first. But I did pick up one new one today, The New Mutants. This is a one-shot that just came out, reuniting the 80s creative team of X-Men writer Chris Claremont with Bill Sienkiewicz, I think is how his name is pronounced. Very weird art style. These two were first paired on the ongoing New Mutants title in the 1980s. I was reading them in high school. I think a buddy got me turned onto that title. I think I discovered X-Men by that point. But just weird, abstract kind of art and storyline about these superpowered teens. They're outcasts. They're feared and disliked by others, but they form this kind of community and pseudo-family together. They were like almost like an alternative high school class. These characters were so real to me when I was that age. So kind of cool to have this creative team reunite one more time. So that is what I picked up today. Big 2 pickups. Just to let you all guys all know, this is kind of the headspace I've been in, kind of downsizing in certain areas, slowing down on new pickups. I'm not quite sure what that will mean as far as vinyl community videos. I definitely do have some new things I could show you right now, but I'm not going out quite as often. Where I live, it's downtown where all the record stores are, is about an hour's drive away. So to go down there and hit 2 or 3 record stores, it takes a good chunk out of my day. and by the time you get home, the kids are done at school. There's no time to listen to anything or get much else done with the day, and if you come home basically empty-handed, is it really worth it? So I'm kind of slowing down, kind of focusing more on adding things to the collection that will add some value or enhance my collection in some way. That means it's going to get quite a bit reggae focused. The reggae is, as I'm realizing, has been the overall most important musical aspect of my collection, my music collection over the years, one that's stuck with me for many years now. So you're going to see some more reggae specialist folk videos, I think, coming up. People keep asking me for kind of essentials or starter beginner's guide to reggae type videos. I may do those. I'm kind of formulating how I would approach that. There'll be more spotlight videos, and there will be more vinyl finds type videos. But I find those get a lot of views in the first few days, and then they're kind of fade away to the back of the channel. Whereas those reggae specialist videos, sometimes I'll get comments on them years later, and I get a lot of very positive feedback from them as well, if not that immediate rush of views in the first couple of days. So hopefully this wasn't too long a video. I just thought I would get some of that off my mind, let you guys know what's been going on. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Peace.